Hi everybody! Okay, so most of you who are watching this already know me, but my name is Hillary. Well, what I'm doing here right now is this is my first video for my channel, which is going to primarily the channel is primarily going to be an outlet for me to let out. Right now, what I'm attempting to do is recover from my lifelong depression. I am depressed and I have anxiety. I started seeing a therapist yesterday, so I guess time will tell if I have anything else going on wrong with me, but we'll get to that. So this is my first video and I was kind of at a loss of what to do and how to do it. Like, the thing is, I have nicer equipment. I've been a photographer for several years. There's a few cases I've been a videographer. So, like, I know how to make a nice product, but right now my computer's a dinosaur and it just decided it doesn't want to take updates anymore. And because it doesn't want to take updates anymore, the programs that I was using, they don't want to work anymore. They don't want to cooperate. It's a pain in the ass. I mean, since this is just kind of something that I'm casually doing, I figured iPhone. So iPhone. Enough of my excuses about why the video sucks. I was worried that I wouldn't have anything to talk about the first video because how do you go about making a vlog about how you're depressed and then just like jump into it? Do I just tell you my life story? Do I tell you my dad didn't hug me enough? What do I talk about? Do I talk about the most recent depression? The first things I noticed as a depressed child? No. I just asked my friends on Facebook to ask me a question. And so here's the questions I got. The first one was why. This is why. I got them written down on I couldn't find any paper. So, what are my pet peeves? My pet peeves kind of vary, like on a day-by-day basis, because sometimes like I'll just be really irritated about the way people drive. Little things like when the cat comes over and you're petting the cat and then they just stick their butt in your face. A literal pet peeve. A pretty regular one though is when somebody asks me a question and I give them an answer, and because they don't like the answer they ask me again. This is something more that like I have to deal with at work. If I tell somebody that they have to renew their membership and that it costs this much money. Why? Oh, that's just the member fee. It's the same that you paid last time. So that's the member fee? It just said that's the member fee. And you've paid it before. Things like that are just like, they're annoying, you know? I don't have time for that. Next question. If you could tell the world something about yourself without fear of being judged, what would it be? You know, I don't often fear being judged. The friends that I keep are very loyal and sincere and genuine, and because I have them, most of the time I feel like I don't need to make more friends, or if I do make more friends, that's an added bonus. But if people don't like me, so I have people. I'm not missing out. If they don't like me, that's fine. There's billions of us. Like, we're not all gonna like each other. But I have always felt like my family would judge me for a lot of things, and some of them have. So one of the things that I would say if there were no fear of being judged is that I am, and this is something that a lot of people know, but still something that a lot of people don't know. I'm not straight. I've never been straight. There's that. Next question. Pulp or no pulp? If it has pulp, that's great. If it doesn't have pulp, that's great. I'm just thirsty. Give me some juice. Next question. What lies do you tell yourself? This is one that I actually thought about for a bit before I hit record here. I actually am pretty sure that I tell myself a lot of lies because I am depressed. So I'm always kind of trying to combat, you know, my emotional thoughts versus my rational thoughts. I'm having all this information within my brain telling me, you know, like I'm a bad person, or I fucked up my life, or, you know, there is no point to anything, and just being very, very pessimistic and countering any kind of positive things that I could feel, or that I could try to learn or try to know. Like, when I think rationally, it's like, no. Like, you may have made bad choices in your life, but you're still in your 20s, and even if you weren't, like, even if you were in your 50s, if you're alive, you have a chance to make things better. So it's like I'm always kind of dealing with that, and being depressed. There are so many lies that I tell myself. The hardest thing about it, too, is that a lot of the time, I don't know that I'm telling myself lies, because, it is all just coming from my brain, and I'm not making myself wander into those thoughts. Those thoughts are just there. People say mind over matter, but, like, your mind is the matter in this case, and it is, chemical based. You have a chemical imbalance, and especially for somebody like me, like, experiencing trauma contributes to that, and there's just so many things that enter my head that are so subtle that I don't realize that they're irrational right away, and I don't realize that they are fabricated out of nothing, pretty much. So there's a lot of lies I tell myself, and they're all pretty sad. There's a lot going on like that, and I'm just always trying to kind of meet myself halfway and remind myself not to believe everything that comes into my head. Next question. So, excluding things that have to do with my child, what am I afraid of most? I don't even know if I can say this online. I'm actually a little embarrassed. Martial law. Next question. Do I have an 8-ball? No. I don't have an 8-ball. Clementine wanted to get an 8-ball at one point. So we almost had an 8-ball, but I don't have an 8-ball. Last question. How's it going? It's going. To describe how it's going, I'll have to back up a little bit here and speak again about my depression. Because for me, it's kind of something that, like, I ride in waves. Sometimes these waves can last weeks or months. And I mean, I guess they're all probably just small waves on top of a big wave that's been lasting my whole life. But recently, I came down from one that had been lasting months. And it's like, I start here just normal. And then my depression starts weighing in, and it's like, it's getting a little worse all the time. And, kind of like try to ignore it, try to go about my daily things, and it just gets worse and worse and worse, and comes up. And then finally, I hit my breaking point, and it's just like a hard crash. I guess the way I'll describe it is that, so after the crash, I can usually kind of sleep things off. Sometimes it's just like a day. Sometimes it's several days, or maybe, a week. And during the time where I'm kind of like sleeping things off and like resting up and not feeling, I'm not feeling much of anything. I just feel pretty like empty. I feel like, through crashing, that crying, all of it just like came out, and there was nothing left in me. And so it takes me days to kind of like build up some kind of storage of feeling. And then I feel normal. But I don't ever know how long I'm going to feel all right for. And so, to answer the question, how's it going? It's going okay. Because I crashed in November, I've been feeling pretty level since shortly after that. That crash was a pretty big one, and that's what made me decide that I needed to start, doing something about my mental health. I've tried to handle this on my own. I've been doing yoga for, let's see, it's 2018 now, 13 years. I love yoga, and yoga makes me feel good. And it was like even yoga, I would get depressed about, because I would feel bad. I would always Another lie I would tell myself, you're a fake. You can't be a yoga teacher because you always feel like shit, and how are you supposed to like help people feel calm and feel, you know, like there is this beauty within and this beauty in the world and that we could all find it and all this serenity, and how can I teach that when most of the time I just wish I did not have to live. Not that I am going to kill myself or that I have ever planned to kill myself or that suicide is on the horizon. More in the sense of like, you know, woe is me, I didn't ask to be born. So, lost my train of thought. This is awkward. Okay, so you know, lies I tell myself. I told myself that I was a fake, that I shouldn't be a yoga teacher because I'm depressed. And, you know, I know that's not true. I deeply love yoga, and I know that yoga is for everybody, and that doing yoga, you learn to meet yourself wherever you are. It doesn't matter if you're 400 pounds. You know, it doesn't matter if you are an amputee. It doesn't matter if, you know, you are going through a breakdown. In yoga, you learn to be with yourself and to pay attention to yourself and to look inwards and meet yourself halfway. And that's something that I devoted a lot of time into, and something that I really believed was going to help my depression. It doesn't make it worse, but I can't really say that it has made things a whole lot better for me either, and that kind of breaks my heart. With all that being said, after the crash, I decided that I need to see somebody, because all these years of trying to handle it myself, all these years of just trying to, you know, use logic against all this shittiness that shouldn't be there, you know, and having that not work, having yoga not work, having supplements and lifestyle changes and sleep and water and having creative outlets, having physical outlets, having people to talk to, and still just being depressed. And so I decided that it can't hurt to find somebody who's been doing this for years, somebody who is trained to understand me and to give me options, give me coping mechanisms, give me something. And so I met with a therapist yesterday, and she's very sweet, and she is going to be working with me from here on out. She does EMDR? EDMR? And I haven't really looked much into it, but I'm going to try it. She gave me the name of a psychiatrist in case I want to try medication, which I'm on the fence about. I'm open to it though, simply because, you know, mental health issues have a stigma, and their medication has a stigma. And the idea of medication has always scared me. But at this point, I am willing to try almost anything, because the way I was feeling in November was probably the worst I've ever felt in my whole life, you know, aside from like circumstances where I lost somebody to a death. Like, I felt like I had fallen into a well. I felt like I was starving. I felt like the sunlight couldn't reach me, and that nobody could hear me, and that nobody was going to find me. I'm full of secrets. I'm full of secrets, and I don't talk to almost anybody. Like, I'm very private. But how am I doing? I'm doing all right. I'm not depressed right now. Like, I am depressed. Like, my condition, my mental health is that I am a depressed person. But it's not like stopping me from doing anything right now. It doesn't feel as though I'm being manipulated in my head with anything right now. I have been feeling a bit more creative and, you know, trying to just like, you know, remember the things that I love and, you know, the people that I love. And from here on out, I'm pretty much going to be open to any and all questions. I don't know, I feel like I probably shouldn't just like bore you guys with like 10 to 20 minutes of me talking all the time. So there's probably going to be some other stuff too, because I have hobbies. You know, I can like play the uke in a couple of videos. I can, you know, I might do like some art stuff in a couple of them. I might, there was another thing I was going to do, like cooking, you know. I am vegan, and sometimes I feel really lazy and I just want to eat like cereal and chips and I don't want to cook. But sometimes I feel like eating some really damn good food, and so I make some really damn good food. My boyfriend Jake makes some really damn good food, and you know, that would probably be a good thing to share with you guys. I don't know, feel free to ask me whatever you want. There's not going to be a whole lot of things that are off limits. Keep it fresh, and thanks for watching. Thanks for the people who asked me questions and gave me, you know, something to ramble on about, and hope I didn't bore you to death, and I hope that you're here next time for the next one. Bye.